tired of being told to calm down when she's just expressing her truth. There's a power within the Sigma female's rage that society has been trying to silence, but it's time to reclaim it. Discover the untapped potential of a Sigma female's rage and how to harness its transformative energy. The world might call it anger, but we call it fuel. This is more than just frustration. It's energy, it's fire, and it's hers. It's that force inside the Sigma female, built from years of pushing through the noise, of constantly being misunderstood. She's been underestimated, told to be softer, quieter, less herself. But guess what? That anger, that fire, it's not weakness, it's strength. So, let's break it down. What happens when a Sigma female finally decides to go full warrior mode? The Sigma female is different. She's not the typical alpha type, but she's a leader in her own way. She thrives on independence, often flying under the radar, but with a fierce power that can't be ignored. She doesn't bend to society's expectations. She isn't here to play by anyone else's rules. And when she taps into that deep well of strength inside her, everything changes. But here's the thing. Society doesn't know what to do with women like the Sigma female. She's expected to smile, to play nice, to keep it together, to be proper. She gets told that her passion is too much or her silence is too cold. And yet when she finally shows up for herself, when she shows that fire, that drive, they tell her to calm down. But it's not anger, it's clarity. It's the energy of someone who's had enough. And when she owns it, when she steps into it, that's when the magic happens. So, let's talk about what happens when the Sigma female flips that switch into full warrior mode. I'm talking about the kind of transformation that doesn't just change her day, it changes her life. Here's what happens when she lets that fire out. 1. She stops apologizing for her truth. That little voice inside, telling her to hold back. She shuts it down. She speaks her truth, no matter what anyone thinks. The world won't like it, but she's unapologetic. A Sigma female doesn't waste her energy second-guessing herself or apologizing for being who she is. It's as if a switch flips, and suddenly, all those years of suppressing her true self come to an end. She's been told over and over again that she's too much, too intense, or too different. Society tried to mold her into a box, but she refuses to fit. No more pretending to be something she's not. No more shrinking herself to make others feel comfortable. She doesn't need permission to exist as she is. She knows her worth and refuses to apologize for owning it. For years, there might have been that voice inside her head, the one that told her to tone it down, to play small, to stay quiet in a room full of people who didn't understand her. That voice said it would be easier to just go with the flow, keep her opinions to herself, and blend in. But the Sigma female doesn't listen to that voice anymore. Instead of silencing herself to fit into someone else's mold, she lets her truth speak for itself. She doesn't wait for others to approve of her. She doesn't need validation. She knows who she is, and that's more than enough. It's a process of stepping into power and cutting off the fear of judgment. The moment the Sigma female stops apologizing for speaking her truth is when she steps into her full potential. When she embraces her authenticity, she doesn't back down. She no longer hesitates to speak out, even when it challenges the norms or pushes against the status quo. People may not always like it, but she's not here to please them. She's here to be real with herself. Whether she's expressing her opinions, standing up for what she believes in, or simply being unapologetically herself, she refuses to hide. This is the moment when she finally realizes that her voice, her truth, matters. It's her unique perspective on life, her experiences, and her identity that make her who she is. And the world doesn't get to dictate how she should express herself. Every time she stops apologizing for her truth, she gains more freedom. She becomes more powerful. Each time she speaks out, the little voice inside that once doubted her gets quieter. Eventually, it disappears altogether. She's no longer afraid of what people will think. In fact, the more she embraces her truth, the less she cares about others' opinions. It's liberating. She stops seeking approval because she's realized the only person's approval she needs is her own. The Sigma female knows that the truth can be uncomfortable, but it's always better than living a lie. So she speaks it loud and clear, unapologetically. She takes up space, she owns her voice, and she's never looking back. By the way, if this resonates with you, hit that like button, drop a comment, and don't forget to subscribe for more empowering content like this. 2. She gets laser focused. No more distractions. She knows what she wants, and she goes after it with precision. Nothing stands in her way. When a Sigma female decides to go full warrior mode, distractions no longer have a place in her life. The noise of the world, the opinions of others, the endless chatter, it all fades away. She's no longer caught up in the things that once pulled her attention in different directions. Her focus sharpens, her goals become crystal clear. It's like a mental switch that makes everything else irrelevant. She has a mission, and nothing is going to stop her from achieving it. All those things that used to divert her attention, whether they were people, social pressures, or minor tasks, are now background noise. The Sigma female knows how to tune them out and zero in on what matters most. She doesn't waste time on things that don't serve her vision. Instead, every moment is spent moving forward with purpose. It's not that she doesn't appreciate life outside of her goals. She simply understands where to put her energy. And right now, that energy is reserved for what truly drives her. She knows her time is precious. Each decision is made with clarity and intention. Whether it's a career goal, a personal mission, or even something smaller, she's not going to let anything pull her off track. Her attention is her most valuable asset, and she uses it wisely. No more wasting energy on what doesn't align with her path. She's all about precision. If she has a goal, she attacks it like a sniper targeting a single point. She doesn't waste effort or time on things that will not bring her closer to her dreams. When others are distracted by gossip, drama, or endless scrolling through social media, the Sigma female is laser-focused. She keeps her eyes on the prize, never swayed by temporary setbacks or diversions. Every move she makes, every decision she takes, is calculated to propel her forward. There's no room for hesitation. She trusts her instincts, her decisions, and her ability to execute. She's learned that success doesn't come from being busy, it comes from being focused. She understands that achieving big goals requires clarity, discipline, and the ability to block out distractions. And once she's set her sights on something, she goes after it with everything she has. It's not about rushing through tasks or acting impulsively. It's about working with intention and precision. The Sigma female doesn't get caught up in the fluff. She keeps it real and stays on task. There's a single-mindedness to her approach. She knows what needs to be done, and she does it, one step at a time, until nothing stands in her way. The world better get ready, because when the Sigma female locks onto a goal, she's unstoppable. 3. Boundaries become her armor. When she's at her best, she sets boundaries that protect her energy. No more letting people walk all over her. She's learned the power of saying no. A Sigma female doesn't just protect her time and space, she protects her energy. Over the years, she's learned that not everyone deserves access to her mind, her heart, or her focus. She's no longer willing to give her energy away to anyone who doesn't value it. As she grows, she understands that setting boundaries isn't just a form of self-care, it's a form of self-respect. She's no longer afraid to say no when something or someone tries to drain her, take her off course, or steal her peace. The power of setting boundaries has become a crucial part of her life. She knows that not every request is worth her time, and not every person is worth her energy. She's learned that being kind doesn't mean being a doormat. In fact, the more she values herself, the more she values her time and her boundaries. This allows her to protect her focus and preserve her well-being, keeping her in a place of strength. She knows that her energy is limited, and if she's constantly giving it away to the wrong people or things, there won't be anything left for herself or her goals. And that's not an option. Now, when someone tries to pull her into their drama, when they demand her time or attention without giving anything back, she simply says no. It's not about being rude. It's about being clear. She doesn't apologize for putting herself first. The Sigma female understands that saying no is a form of taking control of her own life, of maintaining her sense of self and keeping her goals on track. She no longer lets toxic people, draining relationships, or unnecessary obligations control her. She sets clear boundaries and she enforces them. Her boundaries are her armor. They protect her energy from being siphoned away. They prevent her from burning out or losing focus. She doesn't feel guilty about taking space for herself because she knows it's necessary for her growth. She's learned that no one has the right to steal her time, manipulate her, or expect her to overextend herself. The Sigma female has mastered the art of setting limits and sticking to them, and with every boundary she creates, her strength grows. These boundaries are not just walls, they are shields that keep her in alignment with her true purpose. When someone crosses a line, she doesn't hesitate to call it out and defend her space. She's no longer afraid to stand firm and take care of herself, because she knows that doing so is essential for her well-being. She is in charge of her life, and her boundaries are the guardrails that keep her moving forward. Quick reminder, if you're feeling this vibe, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments too. 4. She starts building without hesitation. Instead of sitting around wondering what could be, she just makes things happen. There's no second guessing. She knows her worth and she acts on it. A Sigma female doesn't sit around waiting for the perfect moment or for permission to take action. She knows that opportunities don't just come to those who wait. They come to those who create them. She stops overthinking, stops asking for approval, and just goes for it. The hesitation that once held her back is gone. There's no more wondering, what if, or can I really do this? She's learned that the only way to find out is to act. Every step she takes is with purpose, and every decision she makes is rooted in confidence. She's not afraid to start from scratch, build something new, or take risks. Instead of thinking about what could be, she takes action to make it happen. It doesn't matter if the path is uncertain or if she's facing obstacles. She's determined to move forward. She doesn't wait for the perfect plan or for everything to fall into place. She knows that building something great takes time, effort, and a willingness to start, even if the outcome isn't guaranteed. The Sigma female has come to realize that success doesn't come from waiting for the ideal circumstances. It comes from taking what she has and making the best of it. She has the courage to jump in, to begin. Even if everything isn't perfect, she acts. And in doing so, she learns, grows, and adapts. There's a kind of energy in her that propels her forward. She trusts her instincts and her abilities, and that belief in herself is the fuel that drives her to create. The Sigma female knows her worth, and that understanding is the foundation of everything she does. She knows that she's capable of more than she's been told, and she doesn't need anyone else's validation to make things happen. She doesn't waste time doubting herself or looking for reassurance. Instead, she keeps her focus on the task at hand, moving forward step by step with unshakable resolve. While others are still waiting for the right time or trying to perfect their ideas, the Sigma female is already out there, doing it. She doesn't let fear of failure stop her. In fact, she knows failure is just part of the process. She uses each mistake as a lesson to improve and push forward. With every small victory, her confidence grows. She doesn't sit back and wait for the world to come to her. She goes after it. Building her dreams is not an afterthought. It's a priority. The Sigma female has learned that nothing will happen if she doesn't make it happen. So, she starts building without hesitation, knowing that the future she wants is hers to create. 5. She turns obstacles into stepping stones. Life throws curveballs, but she catches them and uses them as tools. A Sigma female in warrior mode doesn't shrink back from challenges. She owns them. When life throws obstacles in her path, a Sigma female doesn't flinch. Instead of running from challenges or shrinking in the face of adversity, she sees them as opportunities. She's learned that obstacles aren't roadblocks, they're stepping stones, ways to get stronger and wiser. When something unexpected happens, when plans don't go the way she wants, she doesn't dwell on the setback. She doesn't waste time feeling sorry for herself or lamenting over what could have been. Instead, she adapts, adjusts, and uses the challenge to her advantage. Every obstacle becomes a lesson, every mistake a tool for growth. She doesn't see difficulties as signs to stop. She sees them as chances to improve. The more obstacles she faces, the more resilient she becomes. Whether it's a personal struggle, a professional setback, or an external challenge, the Sigma female refuses to let it knock her down. Instead of reacting with frustration or defeat, she reacts with action. She asks herself, how can I use this to move forward? When others get discouraged, she digs deeper. She has this warrior spirit that thrives in tough times. A Sigma female in warrior mode has a mindset that sees setbacks as temporary and conquerable. She's learned that life is full of ups and downs, but what matters is how she responds. She's not afraid to face a challenge head-on. She owns it. She takes full responsibility for her own growth, even if that means confronting uncomfortable truths or taking risks. She knows that facing difficulties is where real growth happens. In fact, she's developed a sort of respect for the struggle. She understands that when things get tough, it's an opportunity to become better, stronger, and more capable. When she encounters failure, she doesn't see it as the end of the road. Instead, it's a sign that she's pushing her limits, stepping out of her comfort zone, and moving closer to her true potential. Each failure she faces is just one step closer to her success. The Sigma female knows that her ability to overcome adversity is what sets her apart. She doesn't just endure challenges, she thrives in them. She transforms each obstacle into a tool, something that builds her resilience and refines her strength. Whether the challenge is big or small, she faces it with confidence and determination. Instead of being intimidated, she takes control of the situation. Every curveball life throws at her is just another chance for her to show her strength. She doesn't shrink back from challenges. She owns them, learns from them, and uses them to fuel her unstoppable journey. 6. She becomes magnetic. People can feel the shift in her. Her energy becomes undeniable, and suddenly she's attracting the right people into her life. She doesn't chase, she draws them in. Pause. Before we move on, make sure you're subscribed. And if you haven't yet, hit that notification bell so you never miss a video. Now, let's keep going. As a Sigma female steps fully into her power, something shifts in the energy around her. People begin to notice. It's not just her actions or words, it's her presence. She walks into a room and the whole vibe changes. There's an unspoken strength that surrounds her, a confidence that makes others take notice. She no longer needs to force her way into conversations or relationships. She doesn't need to prove herself to anyone. Her energy speaks for her, and it's magnetic. The more she embraces her true self, the more she radiates this powerful energy that others can feel. People are drawn to her, not because she's trying to attract them, but because she's in alignment with herself. She doesn't have to chase after people or seek approval. Those who resonate with her vibe naturally find their way to her. The Sigma female's energy isn't loud or flashy, but it's undeniable. It's rooted in self-assurance and authenticity. People can sense that she's not pretending to be anything she's not. There's no fakeness, no posturing. She is simply who she is, and that alone is enough to draw the right people into her life. Those who align with her values, her vision, and her energy are the ones who stick around. She's no longer wasting time on relationships that drain her or people who don't add value. The right people find her. And as she continues to own her power, this magnetic pull becomes even stronger. She doesn't need to go out of her way to attract attention. It happens naturally. She starts to see the shift in the people around her. They respect her more. They want to be in her presence. They trust her. Her ability to be herself, without fear or hesitation, becomes the catalyst for creating deep, meaningful connections. The Sigma female's magnetism isn't about forcing her way into spaces. It's about creating a space that people want to be in. She has learned to attract the right kind of people, those who support her, challenge her, and help her grow. She's not interested in superficial relationships or people who will hold her back. As her energy becomes stronger, it's like she's in a constant state of attraction. She's attracting opportunities, like-minded individuals, and the support she needs to thrive. People don't just want to be around her, they want to be part of her journey. And this magnetism isn't just about personal relationships. It's also about the opportunities she attracts in her career and life. The Sigma female draws in the right opportunities because she has become clear on what she wants, what she deserves, and what she's capable of. She doesn't chase. She simply allows the universe to bring what's meant for her to her doorstep. 7. She embraces her flaws like weapons. What the world sees as imperfections, she sees as her strength. Her scars, her quirks, her battles, they're not weaknesses. They're part of her power. A Sigma female doesn't try to hide her flaws or pretend they don't exist. Instead, she accepts them fully and owns them. What the world may view as imperfections, she recognizes as the very things that make her unique and strong. Her flaws don't define her weaknesses. They are simply part of who she is. Whether it's the scars left by past struggles, the quirks that make her different, or the battles she's fought and won, she sees these as the building blocks of her power. Life has shaped her, and she's learned to take those experiences, those so-called imperfections, and turn them into sources of strength. Each scar tells a story of resilience, of overcoming adversity, of growing stronger through struggle. Rather than hiding from them, she wears them with pride. These marks are proof of her journey, proof that she's survived what others thought would break her. The Sigma female knows that her past doesn't make her lesser, it makes her unbreakable. Her quirks, the things that make her different, are not things to be ashamed of. She doesn't try to fit into a mold or follow the crowd. Instead, she embraces her individuality, knowing that it's her authenticity that draws people in. Those little things that others might try to change are the very qualities that set her apart from the rest. Whether it's the way she thinks, the way she sees the world, or the way she expresses herself, she owns it all. She doesn't need to conform to societal standards of normal. She's learned that being different is a strength, not a flaw. The Sigma female's battles, whether they're personal, professional, or emotional, are the hardest things she's ever gone through, but they've shaped her into the powerful woman she is today. She doesn't shy away from talking about the challenges she's faced because she knows they've made her stronger. Those challenges didn't break her. They refined her. The Sigma female doesn't hide behind perfection. She knows that true strength lies in embracing every part of who she is, flaws and all. She's not afraid to show the world that she's been through pain, hardship, and growth. These experiences have given her wisdom, compassion, and an unshakable sense of self. They are not burdens to bear, they are tools to use. Every flaw, every scar, every imperfection is part of the weapon she has forged. She doesn't see herself as broken, she sees herself as whole, complete, and unstoppable. Her flaws are her strength, and with them, she can face anything the world throws her way. She embraces them because they are the very things that make her powerful. 8. She creates her own path. She stops waiting for permission. She carves out her own lane and walks it like it's hers, because it is. The world, it better get out of her way. A Sigma female doesn't sit around waiting for someone to give her the green light. She doesn't need permission to go after her dreams or follow her vision. She understands that the only approval she needs is her own. She stops asking for validation from others because she knows that the power to create her own life lies within her. Instead of following the paths that others have laid out for her, she starts to carve her own. She doesn't look to others for guidance. She looks inward, trusting her instincts and her unique perspective on the world. The Sigma female doesn't need to fit into someone else's mold. She creates her own. She knows that success isn't a one-size-fits-all thing. It's about finding what works for her and then making it happen, no matter how unconventional or different it may seem. She's not afraid to take the road less traveled. In fact, she prefers it. The world is full of people who play by the rules, who follow the same predictable paths, and the Sigma female has zero interest in that. She creates a new lane, one that fits her perfectly, and she walks it with confidence and purpose. She doesn't waste time wondering if it's the right path. She knows it's the right path because it's hers. She stops waiting for the stars to align or for the perfect opportunity to show up. She makes her own opportunities. If there's no clear path, she creates one. She doesn't sit back and wait for things to happen. She makes things happen. The Sigma female is a force of nature who understands that the world doesn't always give you what you want. If you want something, you have to take it. If the world isn't ready for her, that's not her problem. It's theirs. She doesn't care if people doubt her or think she's going against the grain. She knows that the only person who has to believe in her is herself. So she takes action. She doesn't let fear, doubt, or outside opinions slow her down. She trusts herself, and with that trust, she moves forward, undeterred. The Sigma female walks her path like it's the only one that matters because, to her, it is. She owns it fully. She doesn't wait for others to pave the way for her. She builds the road herself and walks it with determination, knowing that she is in complete control of her future. The world might try to get in her way, but it's not going to stop her. She creates her own path, and once she's on it, nothing can slow her down. There was a moment she'll never forget. She was backed into a corner, feeling like there was nowhere to turn. Every step forward seemed like an uphill battle, and she wasn't sure she could keep going. The pressure was mounting from every side. People were doubting her, whispering that she couldn't do it, that it was too much for her. She thought about giving up, letting the weight of the world crush her, walking away from the fight. But then something clicked. She realized this challenge wasn't meant to break her. It was meant to build her, to shape her into something stronger, more resilient. She saw this moment as a test, one that could either destroy her or turn her into the version of herself she knew she could be. So, instead of backing down, she leaned into it. She tapped into that warrior spirit deep within, the same one that had gotten her through everything in the past. She let that fire, that rage, fuel her, and without hesitation she went for it. She didn't need anyone's permission. She didn't wait for the perfect circumstances. She just took what was hers, and in that moment, when she chose to fight, everything changed. The struggle didn't seem as insurmountable anymore. The doubt faded, and what was once overwhelming became manageable. Her strength emerged, and from that point on, she wasn't the same. She was unstoppable. So let's wrap it up. The Sigma female is a force to be reckoned with. She's independent, resilient, and unstoppable. But when she taps into that warrior mode, that's when she becomes truly unstoppable. She becomes the version of herself she was always meant to be. Own her fire, embrace her strength, and remember, she doesn't need permission to be her fiercest self. What does the Sigma female think? Does she know another one who's tapped into her warrior energy? Or maybe she's the one herself? Drop thoughts in the comments below. And hey, if this spoke to her, stick around. I've got another video coming her way that dives even deeper into female empowerment. She won't want to miss it. Until next time, stay strong, stay fierce, and never apologize for being her.